What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Jose here at the First Round By podcast, accompanied by my boy, Mr. Soss.
What is up, one and all, and welcome to yet another episode of First Round By. This is episode 41. Yes, we have crossed that threshold. We are on our way to episode 50, which we are super excited for because we got so many big plans for it, right?
Jesus. No plans whatsoever, and he's over here hyping it up.
Yeah, I know, right? But this one's actually it's actually still a pretty important episode. It's exceptional, actually, because we are going to be talking about the exceptional contract that these exceptional wide receivers are getting. So we just recently had Mr. DK Metcalf, who recently just signed a 3-year extension. It is for $72 million, which is a lot more than I'll ever see in my lifetime. And it includes $58.2 million guaranteed. That is absolutely nuts. But one of the biggest deals about this is that it is only a 3-year deal. So he will be a free agent again at the age of 27.
Ooh, he'll still be
he might still be able to get another big contract.
Well, he's got to continue that play though.
That's right.
Which last year, I believe he didn't really live up to his expectations because the year before last, he had a pretty damn good year. Everybody was like, "Holy crap! Like this guy's the real deal." Like maybe my team should have drafted this guy, right? Yeah. But yeah, last year I don't know what was up with him. He kind of he had maybe a game or two where he did really well, but other than that, everything was kind of questionable.
Yeah, and I think honestly, that the Seahawks are starting to load up for their next quarterback. I think if they're trying to get it set up for whoever they draft to have success, because I don't think they're going to be all that good this year. Because obviously, as everybody knows, they shipped off Russell Wilson over to the Broncos. I forgot what the compensation was for, but
they got Drew Lock and who's the tight end? Noah Fant, I think.
Yeah.
And a couple of picks, I believe.
Absolutely. Which, I mean, that's not a bad haul and everything, but I obviously no one trusts Drew Lock. Nobody thinks that Drew Lock's going to be the answer.
Well, I mean, maybe. I mean, he wasn't a terrible quarterback, to be honest with you. He wasn't like a Brock Osweiler or who's another? I'm thinking of another bad quarterback that I can't think of right now. What's his name?
For the Broncos?
I don't know.
Or just in general? Actually, you said the name that I was going to say.
Anyways, he's not a terrible quarterback. He's not, one of these prime Joe Burrow type quarterbacks, but I think he'll win them for sure some football games. Mm-hmm. But as far as being the answer for the Seattle Seahawks, I think he's far from it.
Right.
I do probably see them drafting, this next year, probably going after Bryce Young maybe.
Yeah, I could see that for sure. But obviously, so my personal opinion, I like DK Metcalf a lot. He has a lot of those good physical traits that you look for in a premier wide receiver. And now he's getting paid like a premier wide receiver. Mm-hmm. Do I think that he earned it last season? Not so much. I think that they're paying him based off of his rookie season and his potential moving forward.
Which, he has a lot of potential.
He does.
He's a big body, and we've seen what he can do. And like I said, how old is he? 22, 23 maybe, give or take?
It's got to be 23.
He's still a young guy. Really? So moving forward, I feel like for sure he's going to get better, of course. And
especially since whenever he becomes a free agent again, he's still going to have those physical traits still. He's going to probably be in his prime.
Oh yeah.
By the time so he's set up really well.
He is.
And like I said, I do like him, and I think that everybody knows. Maybe if we can find that clip, we can throw it on there. His big moment where he chased down Buda Baker.
Yep.
Man, that was. I still remember that.
I don't even think I need to find the clip. Everybody knows what I'm saying. Everybody knows
literally,
that. Yeah.
Literally. So DK Metcalf he earned a bunch of money for chasing down Buda Baker.
That's it.
That's the only reason why. But no, I'm happy for him and everything because he was one of those. He was an Ole Miss wide receiver. He actually came out in the same draft, I believe, that AJ Brown did, who's now with the Eagles. And there was that one picture circulating around for a while whenever they got drafted of both of them standing next to each other, just flexing and stuff. And both those dudes are huge.
Oh, yeah.
And so, DK Metcalf, huge guy, just got a huge contract. And it looks like his deal actually included a $30 million signing bonus.
Wow.
Which is the highest ever for a wide receiver.
Nice. Congrats to him.
Yeah. These wide receivers are getting paid, man.
Honestly, dude, everybody's getting paid.
Everybody's
getting paid. So it's kind of crazy.
Except for us.
Right.
I'm just kidding.
Well, like a lot of these football players, not necessarily just quarterbacks or just wide receivers or running backs or whatever, like everybody, like they know they're starting to know like their worth, right? In the NFL world at least. So
absolutely.
If they see, all the other people in their positions getting paid, they're like, hell, why not me? So if their franchise isn't paying them that money, they're leaving.
That's right.
Obviously, we've seen it multiple times.
That is literally how it's going now.
Yeah, it's not even about loyalty anymore.
Which is so sad because like that's one of the main things that I've liked about the NFL for the longest time, because you got players that have stayed there for so long,
right,
and just made that city, that franchise their home. But now it's like, I know that you guys have been good to me, but this other place is going to pay me $10 million more a year. Right. So adios.
I mean, and like what everybody says, players, coaches, everybody says it. I mean, it's a business.
It is
like at the end of the day, if the NFL, if like a franchise doesn't want you anymore because, reasons XYZ, then they're going to get rid of you.
Absolutely.
So why not, reverse the roles or whatever? So a lot of people or a lot of players are starting to realize that and starting to take advantage of it. So
which, as they should.
And that's why we're seeing like a bunch of holdouts and stuff like that. So I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, basically just go get your bag. That's what you should do anyway. I mean, all of us, even us regular people, we'd be doing the exact same thing. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. I always get so interested to see how players play after they get these huge contracts. And after this offseason, there's going to be a lot of players I'm going to be interested in seeing how they do. But yeah, so the wide receivers have been getting paid and everything. But moving on, let's talk about, oh man, I don't even know how to segue into this, because I'm not mad about it, but I'm also like, what in the world? So what we're talking about, if you guys didn't see or have just had your head in the sand, so Kyler Murray, he just signed this huge contract. And one of the funniest things about it, I was going to post a short, but I got lazy about it. And one of the stipulations that everybody was laughing about was 4 hours of independent study every single week. And a lot of people were like wondering, like, what in the world? Why would you put that as a stipulation? Like, it's kind of a red flag on such a huge contract, because he signed a massive contract. What, $230 million?
I want to say it was like 240 or 260.
Yeah, no, you're right. About 240. And so it is ridiculous. But since then, and as of this recording, the Cardinals have actually taken that off of his contract, amidst a lot of backlash and everything with it. We'll say it's backlash.
Yeah.
I guess apparently, I didn't get to see it, but I guess apparently he had a press conference where he was kind of complaining about it and everything, and basically, and like the context of the press conference, I could kind of understand where he was coming from in a way, because he was basically saying he's a smart dude. Don't sit there and make it seem like he doesn't know what he's doing out there and everything. But at the same time, it's like, dog, you have to have a stipulation in there that you study. Does that mean that you go out there and just wing it? I mean, we see him out there winging it a lot of times, but it's like, homie, you gotta do a little bit better than that. So I'm very curious. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's funny. Well, like, there's really not much to it. Like, I mean, reading it from the outside in or whatever, like, yeah, you see that, they put that 4 hour mandatory time to, do independent study or whatever.
Right.
And you're like, what? Like, you've never heard that coming out of anybody else's contract, or at least the details never leaked like that before. So it's really funny to hear. And then, of course, everybody on social media went, berserk. Everybody was like, "Oh,
absolutely.
What's going on?" Bunch of speculation
they don't trust
going on.
him.
Exactly. And I was one of them. I was like, "What? Like, why?" Like,
because it just doesn't make sense. Why pay all that money if you're going to show that you don't trust him?
Right. But I don't know. I just thought it was funny, and I thought it was funnier that they removed it like 3 or 4 days after the news had leaked.
Oh yeah.
So because once the contract is signed, you kind of figured, they're not gonna mess with it because it's signed, everything's good to go, and then like I said, 4 days later, they removed it. So yeah. I don't know. It's kind of funny.
And part of me thinks that, because I read a lot about it and I've seen a lot of people's opinions, because my opinion's constantly changing with different things that come about. And the funniest part to me is just that some people were saying, they were like, well, I mean, you would think that they probably got what they wanted to out of adding that. So now it's out there. And regardless of if it's taken away from the contract and everything, that information's still out there. You can't take that information back. And so because they've thrown that out there, then that means that he's under even more pressure. And he is even being held more accountable for how he plays. Because just think if he has a shitty game where he throws like a touchdown, like 3 picks, 2 picks even. And, everybody on social media is going to be like, hey, did you do your 4 hours of study? Maybe if you would have done your 4 hours of study, you wouldn't have thrown all those picks.
Exactly.
But he also talked about how he he doesn't feel like he needs to and I'm not quoting it verbatim or whatever. It's just what I remember him saying is just that he recognizes it and stuff. He recognizes different coverages and stuff like that, which I get it. I mean, you're at the highest level now, but at the same time, it's like, dog, the greatest players that have played, every single one of them spends time studying film. So it's like, dog, if you do you just not want to be great?
I think his biggest, and this is just me just assuming or whatever, but I feel like the biggest thing that caught him off guard or the biggest disrespect was the news being leaked.
Yes.
I feel like he probably had a problem with it whenever, he went over the contract details with his agent or whatever happened. And he probably, was like, what the heck? But at the end of the day, he's getting paid 200 and whatever mil. So I'm sure, if you tell me to do some type of film study for 4 hours a week for me to get paid that much, I'm doing that. No questions asked, right?
Yep.
Me. But I'm sure once the news leaked, like I said, he was probably probably where the disrespect came in. He was probably kind of a little embarrassed, right?
So. Oh, absolutely. And I mean, honestly, you kind of deserve to be a little bit embarrassed by that. And
like I said, and we talked about this the other day. I think it was yesterday. He kind of did act in a way that he shouldn't acted towards the press conference. But he still has time to grow. He's still a little bit young. I think he's 24 or something. Yeah. So we're all
Which, if you're counting that's a decade younger than I am. So, and I mean, whenever we even discussed this too, whenever I was 24, I wasn't making those kind of decisions. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm sure I was making even worse decisions than that. So, I mean, mistakes happen. Kind of like to your point, he probably kind of regrets how he went about things too, a little bit. But at the end of the day, he's still a multimillionaire.
Yeah.
So that's incredible for him. Congrats on getting the bag, and sorry that you are in the information age, the social media age, where everything's under a microscope. Absolutely everything's under a microscope. So, but yeah, with that being said, my friend, do you have anything else for our lovely, lovely viewers?
I do not.
Awesome. I also wanted to actually quickly touch on, just because we're talking about contracts and everything, just how funny it was whenever I was telling you about the other day, the Tyler Heineke.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So he was asked about how he felt about backing up Carson Wentz and everything. And he said, pretty much to sum it all up, he was just like, well, at the end of the day, the NFL's a business. One guy's getting paid $30 million. The other guy's getting paid $3 million. I'm just going to wait it out. Because, I mean, that's all you can really do. If somebody's getting paid that much to play a game, he's going to get all the reps.
Yep.
So, but yeah, I just thought it was hilarious, and it just kind of boils down. Yeah, at the end of the day, the NFL is just a big old business. So, but with that being said, we definitely appreciate all the support and love that you guys have shown us and thrown our way. If you want anything First Round Buy related, head over to firstroundbuy.com. We've got merch, we've got pint glasses and everything, so that you don't have to be drinking from a multicolored cup like I am, which is understandable. But either way, we will catch you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.
Peace.